Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video, guys. My name is Patrick, aka Chief Pat, and today we're going to be hopping into another new deck on my main Chief Pat account. I actually got this one from a Reddit post that went up yesterday from a user called Poker, and it involves both the P.E.K.K.A as well as the Mini P.E.K.K.A. So I'm going to call it the mother-daughter combo, assuming that the P.E.K.K.A is a female. So we're going to have those inside of the deck. We do have the Ice Wizard and the Miner as well as two legendaries to help us out, and we're also using the Witch inside of this deck. Now, personally, if you guys have been following my channel for a long time, I almost never used the Witch. I used to think it was one of the worst cards inside of the entire game because it was, but I think it received something like 5 buffs in a row at one point, and it made it so it's finally viable within the game. Now, starting off, it looks like we're going to be playing a level 12 who has a Spectator, which, by the way, whenever I see a Spectator, I just assume that someone is cheating and using that other person to tell them how much elixir I have, which I can't believe is possible and wasn't even thought about when they released that feature. Anyways, I'll probably talk about that more in a future video. Let's go and defend this push right here. We've got the mother and the daughter beating down on that Royal GG. We've got a couple of supportive troops as well with the Musketeer and the Ice Wizard. So let's go ahead and see if we can get some tower damage down. I'll put the Miner down on the Crown Tower while our P.E.K.K.A tanks that down. And it looks like things are okay. And check out that zap spell. Just like yesterday's video, if you guys watched it, I went ahead and zapped to retarget the tower aggro to my Miner. And I almost got the P.E.K.K.A to go to the tower. But still, things are going to be okay. He had to use the Bomber to take out the P.E.K.K.A. And because of that, that tower is going to be going down for the very first tower of the game. Alright, so a minute and 38 left. Things are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and pump up since he just pumped up right there. I can go ahead and focus down that right-hand side. I don't really want to focus too much on the left. Even if he takes that tower, I can get that right-hand tower just to give myself a little bit of insurance. Now my P.E.K.K.A is going to go down. He's going to play the Royal GG on the left, so of course my Mini P.E.K.K.A is going to drop, which should only let his Royal Giant get a couple of hits off against the tower. And the minions aren't going to be in tower range, unfortunately, but I'm going to go ahead and use my Musketeer and check out what I do right here. So I drop my Musketeer in the center, but on the right-hand side of the map. So as soon as the Musketeer is done shooting those minions, the Musketeer is going to run over behind my P.E.K.K.A and form a pretty amazing counter push. So notice where I just placed that Musketeer. I placed it so it still was in range of the minions by placing it closer to the river, but also I made it so it was still on the right-hand side of the map. That's just a small trick you can do. Rather than have that Musketeer run down the left-hand lane with no one else to help it out, I have it on the right-hand side, and because of that, that tower is going to go down because my push was too big for him to overcome. So now with 37 seconds left, all of the towers are down. I'm hoping at this point that he's just going to give up. My Mini P.E.K.K.A and all my skeletons are going to run towards the tower. I'm going to zap down the Barbarians just to help out a bit. And yeah, we're going to get the third crown for that battle for a flawless victory. Even without any spectators, who knows what those spectators are doing. We're going to get 24 cups for a pretty solid win. So some crucial things in that battle. Number one, zapping the tower to reset the P.E.K.K.A aggro. I showed you guys that a more effective way in the last video, which worked out really well, and it actually gave me like an additional 2,700 damage on a tower just for that 2 elixir, because I was able to retarget my P.E.K.K.A. But in that case, I think it helped out a bit because it forced him to play his Bomber right there, but he might have played it there anyways. Still, things are looking great, and getting into this next battle, we're going to see a giant skeleton. Now, to be honest, I don't see a lot of giant skeletons, so what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to place my P.E.K.K.A so it meets the giant skeleton not too close to my tower. It looks like the giant skeleton is going to get pretty close, but honestly, I think we should still be okay. However, he does have an aggressive push on the way with the Prince as well as the Dark Prince. Now, notice on the right-hand side, we didn't end up taking any damage from that giant bomb, which is really good. And now we have the P.E.K.K.A, we've got the Musketeer, we've got like a 1 HP Witch down that left-hand lane, but we do still have a half-health Elixir Collector, and my P.E.K.K.A and Musketeer are rumbling towards the tower. The Rocket's gonna go down, but the Rocket honestly isn't gonna be able to save this tower. The tower is being chunked down all the way to 0, even with that level 13 King Tower. Tower number 1 of the game off of our very first counter push, and so far that giant skeleton hasn't really been paying dividends to him. So we've got a massive elixir lead, we've got the tower advantage, we've only taken arrows to our tower, I think. So things are obviously looking amazing. Let's go ahead and reset with our P.E.K.K.A, and here comes another giant skeleton down the left-hand lane. Now, of course, this time it's going to be more difficult. I have to put a couple of troops behind my P.E.K.K.A, obviously, which makes it so the giant skeleton's going to be really annoying to deal with because it could assassinate my Witch, my Ice Wizard, or my Musketeer. But here comes the Three Musketeers. The Three Musketeers are going to go down. I'm going to go ahead and zap those down. My Witch will get exploded as my P.E.K.K.A rumbles its way towards those Musketeers right there. And honestly, that wasn't a very good trade for me. I shouldn't have played that Miner. That was my one mistake by playing that Miner onto the Crown Tower. That did absolutely nothing for me, but we're not honestly going to get punished too hard for it. We took about maybe 1,000 damage to that left-hand tower. So long as we don't make any dumb mistakes in this last minute, we should still be A-okay. And let's go ahead and set up to protect against this Prince. Now, the Witch will be perfect. Those skeletons will be able to stop that Prince dead in his tracks. The Ice Spirit's going to go down as well to make sure that that Witch is still protected. But here comes another Giant Skeleton. It's actually really effective against my deck, but I'm going to distract the Giant Skeleton with my Miner, drop my Musketeer as my troops make their way to the tower, but it's another Giant Skeleton. What the heck is with this dude in the Giant Skeleton? Apparently he's rocking the Mirror card, and my Ice Spirit and Witch are going to blow into a million pieces. I placed a really dumb Witch right there. I meant to place my Mini P.E.K.K.A. There goes the Mini P.E.K.K.A right now. At this point, we've got to struggle to defend. And man, the mirrored Giant Skeleton, that's actually pretty funny. I might have to check that out sometime. But thank the Clash Gods that with 10 seconds left, this one is already over, and we don't have to worry too much longer. So good game against Rakan from the Arab Union. Definitely an interesting deck with the Giant Skeleton. If you guys know any interesting Giant Skeleton decks you want me to play, let me know in the comment section below, because I still think it's a really fun card to try out. I used to play Giant Skeleton 3 Musketeers on my main account a couple of months ago when I was near, I think it was like number 4 in the world at the end of that season. I played Giant Skeleton 3 Musketeers. But anyways, let's continue onward, and I think we're playing someone from that same clan we played in the very beginning. But anyways, Elixir Collector on the bottom left. We've got an Elixir Collector on the top left, so I'm going to drop my Miner. And guys, I honestly feel like when people play their Elixir Collector, where I just drop my Miner, most people play the Barbarians or they play the counter card near the top border. So I like playing my Miner in that scenario on the left-hand side like I just did right there. I feel like most of the time people will try to play it on the top instead of on the left. Just something small that I picked up over the last couple of months, and it worked out right there. It let me get a good amount of chip onto that Elixir Collector, and the most important thing is it sort of disrupts his deck. You never want to use your Barbarians as a straight offensive card, but because of the fact that I had that Miner go down and he had to defend against it, it made it so he had to drop those Barbarians to defend. It sort of forced his hand, and it worked out really well for me towards the end. Now, my Witch ended up doing good damage to that left-hand side. Things are looking really good in this battle. I can set up with another Elixir Collector and see what he does. Maybe drop another Miner on him and try to predict where he's going to play his counter card. I'm going to move my Elixir Collector to the right-hand side just because I know we're going to be fighting on the left-hand side of the map, because obviously I want to take down that tower. Miner's going to go down again, but this time not going to get so lucky, and he's going to have the Barbarians to stop me dead in my tracks. So with the Barbarians down, pretty simple counter like I've done previously. I've got the Ice Wizard, I've got the Musketeer. It'll slow them down far enough to where they shouldn't be able to reach my tower. I was considering using my Zap spell, but honestly not worth it, which ended up being a pretty good decision. The Witch is going to go down right here, and let's see if we can get a P.E.K.K.A down. I feel like we can't. We just don't have enough Elixir to get it down in time, and we haven't been able to get our big push off. I'm going to zap down the archers right there just to try to get a little bit of value and let my troops maybe get some hits off against the tower, and it looks like the Ice Wizard actually is going to take tower aggro, which I didn't expect, and that tower is going to go down. That was honestly pretty lucky that the Ice Wizard took the tower aggro, but keep in mind the Ice Wizard does have a shorter range than the Musketeer, so it would walk closer to the tower, and he's going to end up playing another Elixir Collector with only 50 seconds left, and for him, I don't know if that's the best idea. Finally, he plays this card that he's been trying to play this entire time, the Golem, and the Golem's going to go ahead and work its way down the right-hand side. I'll play my Miner onto the Elixir Collector, which he'll counter with the Barbarians, but notice that now the Barbarians cannot help him out whatsoever. The Barbarians are all by themselves, which means I'm just going to drop a second P.E.K.K.A down that left-hand lane. I've got the Ice Wizard on the left-hand side to help out against those Barbarians, the Musketeer to help out against those archers, Miner onto the Arena Tower right there, and as that P.E.K.K.A dies, guess what? I have another P.E.K.K.A to help out and start working its way down that right-hand side. Now, in the end, we're not going to make too much out of this push, to be honest. He's just going to keep defending over and over again, but because of the fact that we put him on defense, makes it so he could not make a counter push to go for one of our towers, and that's going to wrap up a very simple 1 crown to 0 victory using this P.E.K.K.A, Mini P.E.K.K.A deck, the mother-daughter combo, as well as we got a magical chest right there. Not too bad, and I think that's the, I have 2 magical chests now and a giant chest on my main account. Once I get one more, I'll do a little bit of a chest opening and see what we get. But let's go ahead and continue onward with one final battle against Imogen. Alright, so it looks like he's going to drop Barbarians. Like I said, most people go towards the very back when they drop their miners, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my P.E.K.K.A in the very back, and I ended up predicting it correctly. Mini P.E.K.K.A and Ice Wizard are going to do work in the left-hand lane. I'm going to take absolutely 0 damage against my tower. I'll play a Witch as well to see what we can do down this left-hand lane, and here comes the Bowler, which is going to try to stop my deck dead in its tracks. Now, it's probably going to be pretty effective, but it's still going to take a little bit of damage. There go the skeletons. The Bowler's actually going to retarget onto the skeletons, but still the Bowler's pretty low as far as HP goes, and here's where I'm going to drop my P.E.K.K.A. Now, notice my P.E.K.K.A placement, guys. I'm not placing it in front of my tower. I'm placing it in the perfect position to where the Bowler can come across the map and take aggro from my left-hand tower, and things just worked out perfectly. That was just the perfect P.E.K.K.A placement right there. It's sort of hard to explain. There were so many things going on, but the fact that the Bowler did not hit my tower, it crossed the map, and I could play my P.E.K.K.A just at the right time made things perfect. Now I've got the Mini P.E.K.K.A and the P.E.K.K.A, the mother-daughter combo doing work down that left-hand lane. I've got the Miner, I've got the Ice Wizard. I've got everything I could possibly want on this side of the map. His Ice Wizard is going to do almost nothing, and with the P.E.K.K.A beating down on the tower, 1:30 left on the clock, we're going to try to get the 3rd crown as soon as possible. I feel like most people, if they just lose pretty quickly, they'll just give up. And as my troops beat down on the tower, the Musketeer is going to lock on as well, and that's going to be a 3-crown victory off of a simple counter push using the P.E.K.K.A. So good game, well played. Another 26 trophies on this main account. Guys, this deck is really fun. I'm going to link the Reddit thread that I found it in the description below if you guys want to check it out. There's a lot of, I think the guy actually wrote up a pretty decent guide, but I didn't end up reading it. I just wanted to try to play the deck because I thought it would be fun with the P.E.K.K.A and the Mini P.E.K.K.A. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you drop a like. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.